Hey everyone, welcome back to another sketchbook doodle video. So I posted a video the other week which was just the first page of my sketchbook. It's just a small A5 random sketchbook that I started using ballpoint pens in, so like Bic, Biro, Papermate, whatever you want to call them. I wasn't using any reference or anything and it turned out pretty cool, to be honest. So I just thought I'll maybe record a few more of these just in case you guys do enjoy watching them. This one I've actually flipped the sketchbook a little bit, so we're working horizontally. Again, A5 is quite small though. And whilst I wasn't using reference, I actually based this one a little bit on one of my own drawings. So I was doodling off camera, I mentioned in the last video, something that had a bit of a dinosaur rhino head thing, but looked a bit like it was sort of made out of stone, and it just looked pretty cool. And I wanted to try and replicate that to a degree. Now I will put links below in case you want to see that sketch. It's just posted on any of my social media pages. But that was only a really quick, like 10-minute one. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to give it a proper go this time, spend a little bit longer on it and do it in my sketchbook instead of just on a random piece of scrap paper, and I'll try and record it. So this was my attempt of that, but to be honest, it didn't look anything like that. I didn't mind it looking different, but I mean, it looked absolutely nothing like it. It turned from what was like a Triceratops rhino head into more of a T-Rex type head. And I'm trying my best to actually play around with the structure of things and distort them a little bit, make them look a little bit, well, deformed, a little bit demony. In fact, I mentioned in the last week's video that it reminded me of something from like a Dark Souls game, a Demon Souls game, quite a dark arts, magical fantasy kind of game, where everything looks a little bit evil, made up especially out of, you know, skulls and rotting flesh, let's say. Not my usual kind of thing, but turns out it's a lot of fun to draw. It was actually completely unintentional that it ended up looking like a T-Rex. So I did try to add little features to change it up a little bit more, add some random horns and spikes because they always look cool, change the teeth. As mentioned, the skull is distorted, so it's not quite a T-Rex, but you can definitely see that sort of basis in there. And I always feel quite a lot of pressure when I'm recording these on camera. I think if I was doing these off camera, I'd probably do a lot more of them. It's definitely easier off camera because you don't have to worry about putting your head in the way. So I'm sat back a little bit. And I've ordered some water-based markers just in grey. I'm going to make another video on those hopefully soon, so that I can actually use those just to add in some basic values, some shading on this. Because as you can see at the moment, I'm just using the ballpoint pen for the shading, just to hatch it in, cross hatch it, whatever you want to call it, just to give an impression of shadows and shading. I don't get a chance to actually sketch that often now. I spend a lot of my time working on videos and social media posts that I do surprisingly little drawing. So this is me making a point to myself to actually sit down and draw more often than I have been doing, because I want to get back into that. So I am hoping to fill this sketchbook. It'll probably take me a lifetime. I think it's about 50 pages, this one. I probably won't record them all. But yeah, if you guys do want to see more of them, then obviously I will record more. So please let me know. It's always difficult to know what people want to watch on YouTube. Also, if you have any suggestions of things that you actually want to see, I'm not sticking to sort of one brief with this, but you know, if you want to throw out a few random animals or anything like that, I might try to incorporate them to a certain degree, use them as a little bit of inspiration. I should probably start using reference, to be honest. But that's kind of the beauty of doing these deformed, dead-looking rock skull things, because you can't really make a mistake, and if you do, no one's going to know because there isn't one to refer back to, if that made any sense at all. I thought the head looked pretty good in that space, but it looked a little bit too compact on the page, and I couldn't do too much about extending it by this point, because obviously I can't use an eraser with a ballpoint. So I did decide to try and add a little bit of a body. Now, to be honest, I couldn't really be bothered adding a body, and I didn't have anything at all in my head when drawing this. So I just I just started drawing and seeing what happened. So the intention was that it's got quite a short, fat, like on all fours body, and you can see the shoulder the most in the corner. But I was struggling to actually attach that onto the body, because these are only doodles. I haven't really made these creatures functional, so it probably wouldn't work. I'm more just doing it because it looks cool and I want to just make myself draw anything, something, anything. And I always get a little bit fed up once I've drawn, in this case, the main bit, the head, and the body just becomes a bit of a background area. Plus it was just really difficult to actually fit anything on. I tried my best to sort of fade it out a little bit and not go into too much detail to take away from the head. But that's pretty much it, guys. Don't forget you can follow me on social media. I'll put links in the description box below if you want to see more of my artwork. I know these videos aren't tutorials or anything like that, but hopefully some of you guys might find it motivational, inspirational, especially if you're in a situation like me where you want to draw a lot, but you never really get the time. I always end up putting it off. Seeing other artists' sketchbooks for me is really what makes me just want to pick up a pen and draw. So hopefully it might inspire you a little bit. If you did enjoy the video, please do hit that thumbs up button, leave me a comment below. Like we said earlier, I'd love to know if you have any ideas or suggestions for future drawings. And of course, make sure that you subscribe and turn notifications on for future content. Thanks for watching, everyone.